Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another chat. And today we have Chris Byrne, who is here to talk about his journey, his awakening, and something a little bit different for my viewers because it's more of a kind of physical aspect of how he incorporates spirituality within his life. And yeah, we're going to talk about that today. So, hello, Chris.
Hi, can I just say I'm really impressed. You actually said my second name correct.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
honestly, the amount of times I meet people and they say Brian or Byron, you actually said Chris Byrne, which is
Burn,
amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Well done
No,
on
I can read.
that.
Yeah, it's some names you get just like if they're not, especially if people aren't British and they read the word as it actually is, you're like, because I could see it was Byrn, I think, or Bryr. I
Yeah,
thought, oh,
with an
it's
E on the
Burn,
end.
yeah. But a lot of people would be like Byron, like.
Yeah. Honestly, I get it so much.
Yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, so anyway, um, getting on from that, we just had a little bit of a chat before I pressed the record button, but we'll do a little bit of a recap of that if that's okay with you. Um, and so just tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris, and where you are, what you do, and what brought you here to this journey.
Yeah, so I'm 31 now. For 28 years of my life, I spent it just as just like I say, a normal human being. Didn't really, wasn't really into the spiritual side. I was just sort of a family person, going day to day, doing 3D jobs. Didn't really understand anything about the otherworldly stuff that I'm probably get into. Um, and obviously went through lockdown in 2020, which was an absolutely massive year for me. I think the year of the awakening for many people,
Mm.
but especially myself. It was in lockdown, and I had everything I basically wanted. I wanted to have a child. I wanted to start a family. All the 3D stuff. And there was just one day in lockdown, and I just looked up to the sky. I was actually training outside because obviously the gyms are all shut and it was making me miserable. I love training, and
Mm.
I was just getting anything possible I could train with outside. I was literally like curling benches and anything I could get my hands on, and I could see the reflection of myself in the outside window, and I just had this sudden feeling of I'm really not happy with who I am.
Mm.
I really didn't like to look at myself. I just was really not feeling positive at all. I just remember because like I say, I wasn't into the spiritual side at all, and for some reason, I just looked up to the sky and I just said, "Help me, someone! If anyone can hear me, can you help me? Because I feel depressed. I feel low about myself.
Mm.
Um, I've not got the job I want. Nothing was really aligning with my ideal life. I felt nothing of it, and a few weeks later, um, that's when it all started to happen. Really, the absolute craziness of it all. The downloads, the synchronicities, the moving in this, moving stars in the sky, which I wouldn't really say were stars now. um, the dreams were massive, like going to bed at night and waking up, and I'd have a totally different outlook on life in the morning. It was crazy. Like I just wake up one day and say, right, that's it. Now I'm going vegetarian, and there wasn't really
Mm.
an explanation for it. It
Yeah.
was just bang, download in the night, speaking to a guide or speaking to my higher self. I don't really know. I can't remember the dream specifically, but the feeling of when I woke up, it was like, right, I know what to do. So
Mm.
then there was certain times where I'd wake up and I'd just be like, right, okay, I'm going to start meditating today. And that was it. I meditated pretty much every single day for 3 years straight now. So,
Boom.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What sort of synchronicities were you getting? Was it the like the usual numbers or just coincidences or coincidences as people say? Was it just that sort of stuff?
Well, first of all, it was 11/11 for I'm not joking. Every day for 4 weeks straight, every
Mm.
single day. 11/11. It could have been anywhere on my phone. It could have been on my radio. Absolutely anywhere. It doesn't matter what. Even if it wasn't 11/11, I would see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was the start of it all. But the biggest thing that happened was the word. starseed. And as soon as I saw the word starseed, goosebumps all down my arms, all down my legs,
Ah, right.
a feeling of happiness. Finally, what does this word mean?
Yeah.
It never meant, no word had ever meant so much to me, but this word starseed, it was just an inner feeling of go and look on Google, go and look
Mm.
online, discover what this word means, starseed.
Yeah.
And that was the start of it all, really. And also another weird synchronicity was in my car, I had this random coin right in the middle of my car. I had no idea how it got there or anything. And it was a coin on one heart, on one side was a love heart. And when you turn the coin round, it had a lion, but it was a lion that was standing up, so it was a humanoid lion. And he
Right.
had a sword. He had a sword in
Ah,
his hand.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And at the time, it meant nothing because I not really dove into the other beings.
Yeah.
But a month later, I found these beings who were feline humanoids,
Yeah.
and then it sort of all started to make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get into that a little bit later, because we'll talk about what we mentioned before as well.
Yeah.
Our little synchronicity that we had. But what was going through your head when you were seeing like 1111 all the time? Did you have any conception of what it meant at the time, or was it just like, what the hell is going on? Why am I always seeing this?
For the first week, it meant nothing.
Mm,
Like I say, I wasn't really a spiritual person, so to see these numbers, I honestly looked at my phone and was like, "Oh, look at that! I've looked at the same time again."
mm,
Um, it, oh, right, and put my phone back in my pocket. It didn't really mean anything.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was the second week, the third week, and then the fourth week, continuously seeing this number.
Mm,
It was like, okay, there's got to be something in this.
yeah,
And then I just remember the fourth week, it was sort of like an inner knowing, again with the starseed word, go and
yeah,
check what 1111 means.
yeah,
And I think the first thing I seen on Google was your angels are communicating with you, something like
mm,
that. And then it sort of brought me onto the line of how I felt with the, like I say, with the lion and the coin. Okay. And then I started to remember what I said with the please help me to the sky.
yeah,
Is it connected? I
yeah,
still wasn't
yeah.
100% sure, but
Mm.
putting two, one and one together, it sort of started to see what that was 1111 was about then.
Mm. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because I just think that although these things happen, somewhere deep within us, we already know what they mean. And like
Yeah.
that when we see it, although we might think, oh, that's unusual, but deep
Mhm.
inside, we already know that there's a message in there for us somewhere that
Yeah.
we need to be aware of, that something big is about to happen. Um, and I think with with lockdown especially, I think that had this um unrivaled thing with the awakening of humanity, just because me personally, my feeling with regards to that is that the human spirit can't be contained. And I think it was kind of like um, the universe sources our intuitive way of just like saying, well, no, we're not going to have this. We need to like step up our game now on this side of things. And I think that's why so many people went through this massive unveiling of, and it does leave a lot of people confused, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the first time, the first 6 months or so of the awakening process was basically spent with so much anxiety because you don't really know what's what, do you? And
Yeah.
you're sort of comfortable in your everyday living, and then for
Mm.
someone to say, actually, you've been taught a lot of the wrong things, and it's time to unravel that and learn something new. It's
Yeah.
quite a scary experience.
Yeah. Because you're just used to the everyday run of the mill things. You think, well, this is
Yeah,
it, and then all of
yeah,
a sudden you realize, actually, no, this isn't it. There's so much more that we need to be aware of.
yeah.
And your path now is, and I love the way that you're wearing like a t-shirt with a tiger on as well, which
Yeah.
is just like bingo. But it's just, yeah, there's just so much that is going on that people are becoming so aware of. So it's great to connect with you as well on this level, because I tend to speak to a lot of women that are on my channel, because it seems to be predominantly, it seems to be a womanly thing.
Yeah,
To be, I think it's because of women, and they're like kind of, they bring life into the world. So they've got the womb, they've got all that sort of divine feminine energy. But
yeah,
you know, we're all male and female. We all have male and female energies, and I think
yeah,
um, when we do start to awaken to this, it's our divine feminine waking up as well, to make us more aware that there is, you know, we are in fact the creators as well, you know. So it doesn't have to just be a child. You can manifest and bring things into your reality by the art of creation and manifestation, which is something I've just watched in one of your videos on Instagram. um, and that was with regards, because obviously, like, you like going to the gym, you like working out, and how you manifest and create what you want in your mind, and how you want to work out, and what you're going to achieve and how you're going to do it. And I think that is a really, really powerful way of using a spiritual tool, I suppose, in a physical aspect. So do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the biggest thing that's sort of in my life at the moment. Especially when in lockdown as well, and all I could do was train.
Mm,
Yeah, I think I've trained now for a good 11, 12 years, so it's been quite a long time, maybe even longer than that. But the past couple of years, training's been more not just seeing what you see in the mirror and say, oh, I'm pleased with how I look. It's brought a whole new meaning to my waking up process. Has brought a whole new meaning to my training, is what I mean. Um, and to sort of connect to spirit. So it could be my ancestors, or it could be my spirit guides, or it could be my higher self, or multi-dimensional versions of myself, whatever that may be. To actually connect to them before training, in the middle of training, and after training is such a unique, beautiful experience that it gives me goosebumps, and I can't wait to train
mm,
when I'm going to the gym, because I don't feel alone. Even though I train alone, I'm never alone in the gym. I'm
yeah,
always, someone at the side of me. And yeah, so that's what I mean about inviting spirit with me to train. Also, I had a very bad back injury a few years ago through training, and I haven't had any injury problems at all since doing all the spiritual side of training as well.
mm,
Sort of praying before, not praying, but speaking to my team before training and asking for that protection, asking for um, let me be strong physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, so I can inspire people up, to do that as well.
mm.
And since that, I've not had any injury problems. My training's always, positive. Of course, I have my off days in the gym like everybody else does, but sort of bringing that high vibration into gym, I think helps others as well, because it's
Yeah,
quite a big gym. And if they're training at the side of me and I feel like my vibration's high, it's
yeah.
affecting the light of me, is affecting everybody else in the room, which is brilliant.
Wow, that sounds really, really good. That sounds. I wish I used to go to the gym years ago, and it was very much um uh kind of, oh, what's this on my screen? Black box has just appeared on my screen. Here we go again.
Oh,
I'll hopefully it'll just disappear. But yeah, I used to do that. Go to the gym years ago, and it was very much a very like physical, like yeah,
yeah,
just like that. It was that sort of like just masculine dominant sort of
yeah,
thing, and you know, but taking that aspect of your spiritual awareness with you into the gym, and harnessing that energy. I've never really like thought of it in that way, like,
mhm,
or you know, because you just think of it just being like a physical act, but to be able
yeah.
to, you can bring it, you don't really think of like bringing your spiritual awareness or something into something like that, but that is just such a powerful way to enhance your performance and protect yourself as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've trained on the other side of it, like you say, the physical masculine side. I have
Mm,
trained like that. And when I did train like that, I'll be very honest, it was more ego driven.
mm,
So to just eliminate the ego and bring in the spiritual side is a completely different way of training. And
yeah,
I advise it to everyone. Just before you train, and maybe even after, whatever, connecting to your whoever it may be that feels close to you, it will give you another side of training that you've never experienced before.
Yeah. I just had a lady on, chatted to her last week, and she was saying how she connects like to her higher self. So she always asks for guidance from a higher self, and how she doesn't sort of like look into other aspects or other beings because she's not fully aware of who they might be or whatever. But I think if if you're feeling, if what you're feeling inside is right and you feel strong and you feel confident and you feel powerful and protected, then you're obviously on the right track, and you are feeling the right things from within.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. I would say don't look outside of anything but yourself. Always come back to, say, if you're a bit scared of, connecting to beings who you don't really know, don't worry about that. Connect to your higher self. Your higher self is never going to hurt you because it's just an aspect of you.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. So do you feel like your ancestors and guides around you? Do you feel when they're near? Do you feel their energy? And what sort of
Yeah.
sensations do you feel?
Um, I feel them all the time. I would say that they never leave me. I'd say they're
Mm,
here now.
mm,
I feel a strong. It's sort of like it's different. It can vary. It can be goosebumpy. It can be information coming in where I don't know where it's come from that I'd
mm,
never think to myself. It could just be a warm feeling where I feel loved and I feel like sort of
mm.
like hugged.
Yeah.
Like it could be a few sensations that I feel, but I'd say most of the time it was goosebumpy. When
Mm.
you get like
Yeah,
goose
yeah.
right down your arms and there's no, it's not cold, it's a really hot day,
Yeah,
and all of a
yeah.
sudden there's goosebumps and you got on the back of your neck and you feel, wow,
Where's
there's
where's
something
that
with
come
me.
from? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, my understanding of that is kind of like validation. That's what I put that down to for me. And so when you were going through all this process of seeing 1111, we'll just go back a little bit, and you were going through all this sort of awakening and unraveling of yourself. Was there any other? Because for me personally, I had a lot of kind of what you would call supernatural, paranormal, sort of like weird stuff going on all the
yeah.
time. And it kind of like, it did kind of scare the shit out of me to begin with at the start, because I
Yeah.
didn't really know like what it was. Did you have any of that sort of stuff going on?
I'd say the vivid dreams were incredible, especially the first year and then this year as well. The dreams
Right.
have been incredible. Meditations, yeah, I get images in my head
Mm.
of past lives, or a being will just be there and I'm like, it is quite scary at times,
Yeah.
and when you don't expect it, and especially beings that you've never seen before, and you think that we're the only ones here, and then
Mm.
next minute, there's a lion-headed being coming up to you. It can get a little bit, whoa, okay.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
um,
I had all sorts of like just all the bump in the night sort of stuff that was used to go on for me, and the TV used to turn itself on, and just like I'd lost one of my dogs. One of my dogs I had to have put to sleep, and then she used to always jump on the bed, so I would feel the weight of her land on the bed. So like for weeks after that, I would feel that weight of like the dog jumping on the bed, even though like she wasn't there. And I'd hear like voices, I'd hear my name called, my brother's name called. I was just like, what the hell is going on? And I literally thought I was cracking up. I thought I was going like nutty, like I had to get sectioned or something like that. But
yeah.
it was, but
It
I
does get
think,
you feeling like that.
yeah, but I think it's just for anyone that's just starting out, and all this stuff is going on. And I think this is why there's so many of us just feel that we need to share this information to as many people as we can, because for
Yeah,
those that do come across videos like this, they can realize, oh, actually, I'm not going crazy, and these things that I am hearing are actually messages for me, or the stuff that I'm seeing is stuff that I need to be aware of,
yeah.
because it's because the communication as well is multidimensional as well.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started to wake up, I'd have loved to. I think it's a lot easier now to wake up. There's a lot more people awakened, so you can. There's a
Mm,
lot more information out there. It's just you've got to know where to look.
yeah.
But I'd have loved to listen to people. I didn't know where to look, or I'm sure for
Mm,
yourself as well. It's sort of
yeah.
like, am I on my own with this? Is there anyone else
Yeah.
feeling like this?
Yeah.
But I think now there's, YouTube, podcasts, everything.
Mm,
There's so much out there for people to say, oh, do you know what? There's quite a few people. There's actually thousands around the world who
mm,
are actually the same as me. They're awakening, or they've already awakened. They're going through stages just like me. So I'm not alone.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about your Lyrian encounter, because we talked about that before we came on cam. And this is the reason why I decided to message you in the end, because I did start following you on Instagram because I just thought it was an interesting name to begin with. And you just came up as like I think it was just like a suggestion. And if anything sort of like piques my interest, I'll be like, oh, I'll just follow them and see what they're about. And then, so I think it was last week, I put a video out about Lyrian energy, and the earth, and this transition and awakening process, and this Lyrian energy that is coming into the planet. And it's there as a protective, guiding, powerful, fierce force as well. And then it was probably either that day or the next day, you'd put a post up as well about this huge download that you'd had about the Lyrians and the line beings, and this connection to the Lyrian race of beings, which I know I am as well. Maybe that's why I felt this connection. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, tell us about that download that you got, because it was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, goes back to the coin. That's the first start of it all. That's how I knew something was going on. And then, yeah, so um, a couple of weeks later, I started to discover that, these beings, what I saw on the coin, this isn't just a coin. This isn't just me thinking something. This is actually genuine. This is
Mm,
something to look into. And then there was a YouTube video. I think it was 7 signs that you're a Lyran starseed or something like that.
mm,
And I clicked on it, and every single sign was right on the money, bang on the money. Every single one was like, wow, that's me.
mm,
So, because it was like they're very grounded, and they're very they love to work out, and they love music, and it was like wow, everything was just honestly bang on the money. Anyway, I after a year or two, I got into the Akashic records and all stuff like that, and it was confirmed to me that I was actually a Lyran Starseed, which was absolutely amazing.
mm.
Um, and yeah, the download was quite incredible. It was very deep. It backed up with the Akashic record reading that I had anyway,
Mm.
but it was more in depth what I
Yeah.
got. I was a white tiger being, very tall,
Right.
very masculine. I got the sense that I was very, very masculine, but not. I had no female side to me. No feminine was in me. It was
Right.
mostly
Okay.
masculine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't developed any of the fit feminine energy yet.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons was that because my father, who was in Lyra, he was involved with the Lyran Wars, as you know, we all know about who know about Lyra and what have you. He actually died fighting in the wars. I'm not too sure how, but I know
Mm.
for certain that he did. And that pain of losing him was almost too much for me to handle. So
Right.
instead of sort of letting my emotions flow and understanding the death and coming to terms with that, I bottled it up, and my masculine side come out more.
Mm.
And the downloads that was coming through was because I was only young when I saw this, when my father passed, and when I got it's hard to say years, You
Mm.
know, it's
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
It's different, isn't it,
yeah,
than here? But
yeah.
sort of growing up, that's the easiest way to explain it. Growing up, I went to these classes where we sort of trained. It's hard to describe. It's not fighting, but it's how to defend ourselves, how to
Mm.
fight one-on-one combat. It was a bit like is it Chai Chi? What they call it? Chai Chi.
Oh, yeah, like Tai Chi or
That's
like
the
Kung
one. Yeah,
Fu or something like
I
that.
can't
Yeah,
pronounce it. Yeah, that's the one.
yeah,
It was more like that where we was handling. We had things in our hand and we was protecting ourselves and fighting
yeah.
back. And the being who was training me to do this was sort of like a father figure. He took in like what my father was to me, and he almost sort of brought me up and helped me.
Mm.
And the weirdest thing was I've actually got him tattooed on me,
Oh, wow.
but
That's that's amazing.
but I didn't. This tattoo was before I had this memory, which is interesting to me as well.
Ah,
Um,
right.
this tattoo was January last year, and I just love lions. I liked, I knew I was a lion starseed, but I didn't know in the depths of how much this actual being meant to me.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I got this tattoo, and then a year later, oops, it's gone off for some reason. There we go. Sorry. A year later, to actually understand what this being meant to me. And the interesting thing was when I was getting this download, all I could see was Harry Potter. Harry Potter stood with Dumbledore, and I'm thinking, why are you showing me this sign? What's that got
Yeah.
to do with anything? And they were just showing me the connection of me and sort of my teacher, and
Right.
that was so brilliant for me because Harry Potter is my favorite film. I'm a Harry Potter nerd.
Ah, right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm such a Harry Potter nerd, and every time I used to watch Harry Potter and Dumbledore, I used to get really emotional, like on the verge of crying, and I
Mm.
never understood why. I was like, "What have I gone really soft in my old, like, getting older? Like, what's going on?" But yeah, that's what it was basically referring to was the same sort of connection you had with this being in Lyra,
Mm.
and yeah, that's amazing. So
That's
yeah,
fascinating.
that's sort of my Lyran story in a nutshell.
Yeah, yeah. That's just like amazing that it's so interesting. And also the way that they show you things that are relevant to you to give you the message and the indication, they show you Harry Potter, who would have thought that in the realms of spirit that would show you Harry Potter,
Yeah,
but that's kind of like how they connect, isn't it? And give you
yeah.
information through
I
stuff
mean,
that
to
you're
me,
aware of.
yeah, 100%. And to me, that was sort of like confirmation that none of this is being made up.
Mm,
I can't have two images in my head of seeing this Lyran being, seeing Harry Potter, and one side. It's hard to explain, but seeing both in my third eye and getting this
mm,
download with tingling and goosebumps and everything, it was
yeah,
too much to say I have made this up. Like,
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's quite hard to tell other people, isn't it? If they're not like, I was just having this conversation with somebody today, but like it's quite difficult to find people sometimes that are on the same wavelength as you that you can
Yeah,
kind of express this stuff to. And also, if you do want to talk about it and someone maybe piques a little bit of interest, then you have to kind of just do like stepping stones because you're not sure how far you can take it. They might be okay with kind of talking about, I don't know, spiritual stuff or whatever. But then when you start talking about past lives and ancestors and spirit guides, it can lose a lot of people. And you have to be kind of like a
yeah,
little bit, because some people just don't want to know about it. They're just like, this is it. This is, you live, you die. That's it. End of.
yeah,
But I was just having another conversation today. We were just talking about like near-death experiences and stuff that people do experience in a near-death experience, and then come back to give the information that we need to hear on Earth or something that they need to hear themselves to improve their life, to bring things back. Um, how can we make all this stuff up? It's just not possible.
yeah, exactly. And I think it comes down to that again, doesn't it? With the safety aspect of oh, I'm just going to work my 9 to 5 job. I'm going to come home and I'm going to watch TV, eat my tea, and go to bed. That's
Yeah.
very, it's very safe. It's very
Mhm.
easy. You don't have to think about anything else. You don't have to think about there's actually more to life. And I think when people get to the more to life conversations, this it's sort of their ego just sort of boom comes to the surface and it's like,
Mhm.
whoa, no, I'm not even
Yeah.
speaking about that. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's so much easier not to.
Mhm. Yeah.
But my advice to anybody who, you know, is give it a go. Just give it a go. Listen to
Yeah.
someone who speaks about past lives, who speaks about, seeing different beings or whatever it may be. Just give it a shot and don't just do it once. Listen to him for a few times. If you still really don't believe in it, you still don't want to, that's up to you. But,
Mm.
don't just say, I don't believe in it before you even give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Quite sound advice. Um, Moving on from that a little bit, I know you'd mentioned earlier that you've had an Akashic reading. Have you had one Akashic reading already?
Yeah, I've had just the one, yeah.
And how long ago was that?
That was January this year.
All right, so
Yeah,
quite recent then.
quite recent. Yeah,
And
it was with a lovely woman called Jenny. What was her? I'm trying to advertise her here because she's really good, really really good.
yeah,
I'm trying to remember her bio, an Instagram name, Starseed Academy.
Starseed
Starseed Academy.
Academy. Right,
Yeah,
okay.
she's really really good at connecting to your spirit team or your
Mm,
higher self. She's really good, and the Akashic record reading that I got from her confirmed. I didn't even mention, by the way, to Jenny about what I already knew, and she told me
right.
the life that I'd seen.
Oh, right.
So,
Wow. That's amazing.
yeah, she told me like I didn't even mention this tattoo to her or anything, and she was like, yeah, this being. She described him and was like, yeah, this is the being. So yeah, this is my confirmation of how good she actually was because she
Mm,
was saying things that I hadn't even told her and I already knew, and she was just backing that up for me.
yeah, that's amazing. I know I've had two Akashic readings. The first one, I was just kind of like my mind was just kind of like blown by all the information that came through. The second one, I was kind of like I was more aware and I knew a lot more stuff. And but it's funny with me because again, they did kind of make sense. But as because I recorded them, I did like a voice recording of them, and every now and again I go back to them and I listen to them again, and there's things in there that I don't like remember, and it kind of like it's almost as if like there's something there that I need to remember or be aware of now. And there is so much information that goes on behind the scenes with regards to that we can heal from as well on other levels from the Akashic.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, that was I always advise people to get an Akashic reading because the confirmation and they give you insights about things that make sense to only you. Like they
Mm,
confirm so much to you, and they sort of make you realize that you're not going insane. That they do confirm that yes, what you're thinking is true, and you've got a massive mission, and and sometimes it can be. I won't go into it with this one because I know you want to keep it to the Lyrian, but I had two different lifetimes that she confirmed to me, and the other lifetime that she gave me was something that I didn't even know that I should be doing. So
right.
that gave me confirmation to sort of like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that was. I know about the subject you're mentioning, but I didn't know that it was something that I did in a past life that I can
Mm,
do now.
yeah,
So
yeah. Uh, And Akashic readings and people that do Akashic, they seem to be becoming more prevalent now than ever before. It was something that I had never ever heard of when I had the first one. And it was actually my Reiki master that told me about it. And he said, oh, you should go. He said, it really helps to put things into alignment. Um, but ever since then, they're just popping up all over the place. And
yeah,
I know we can all access the Akashic on some level, but it's having that like awareness, isn't it, to be able to get there. And but so much so that you've decided to start training and do the Akashic,
Yeah.
haven't you?
Yeah, I have such a love for it. I have such a love for helping people to find their true purpose and multi-dimensional versions of themselves and what they did in the past lives. And I'm so passionate for it. And it's something that I've always been interested when I woke up. Obviously, I
Mm.
didn't know anything about it before I went for the awakening. But as soon as I went for the awakening, I understood that, there's a lot more to this life. I was like, right, let's delve into it. Let's see
Mm.
how far this goes. How far, where have we come from? There's more to planet Earth. Let's have a look at other planets.
Yeah.
What's what. So yeah, I'm training at the moment to be one. Debbie Solaris is a fantastic. She's one of the best. I don't like to say best, but she's fantastic at what she does. She's really good teacher. I'm on the second week of her course, and like you said before about it seems to be becoming more of a topic now.
Mm.
There's actually so many people who's doing this course. We have Zoom meetings every Sunday, and I'm like that scrolling at all the names. There's so many people who registered to a course.
Yeah.
I thought I might be maybe one of 10, one of 20 max, but it's more
Yeah.
like one of 100.
Wow.
Yeah,
DL.
so it's absolutely astonishing.
Yeah, that's crazy that that many people are like tuning into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a fascinating modality when you start delving into it. So what you're into at the minute on your second week? What you're working on?
Funny enough, the Lyran Draconian was.
All right, okay.
Honestly, no joke. I could even show you my book of the studies that I've done. Um, Last week was just a sort of general induction of how this universe come into play.
Mm.
This week is more how the Draconians attacked and why they attacked and what the reasoning was, and so yeah, it's all about that this week, which is so, like I say before, signs and synchronicities. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
wow.
uncanny, isn't it? Yeah. So will you be able to do like kind of Akashic readings by the end of this course as well?
Yeah, it's an 8-week course, and it's sort of. I think we're going to delve into how to read one for ourselves first, and
Mm.
then maybe go into reading for others, which is going to be amazing for me. I mean, I can sort of maybe change my career altogether once I start to do that.
Mm.
So I'm really excited. But yeah, to the end of the course is what I want to be doing is reading for other people and helping other people connect to, their gifts,
Mm.
their guides, whoever they may be connected with.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So is there anything else in the pipeline for you with regards to, because I mean, looking at the Akashic is basically a healing journey. It's looking at elements of your past that you need to heal. So is there any other elements that you're looking into with regards to healing?
I'd love to carry on doing Reiki. I think Reiki is amazing.
Mm.
The course that I actually did a course in Reiki a couple of years ago, but it was an online course, and I'd
Mm.
love to be able to sort of go to a physical hands-on course.
Come to me.
And actually, yeah, and actually learn Reiki. And I'm not one of those people who says, right, I'm going to be a Reiki healer, and that's me, and that's done.
Mm.
I'm very much like, once I've done that, let's go and learn something new. Why not? Let's go and
Yeah,
do something else. Like,
yeah,
why just limit yourself to one thing? Let's explore and learn all different things about life.
yeah. And I think that's part of bringing the star seed of that person into this reality, isn't it? Because they were so expansive, or we are so expansive, but we need to bring more of that within this life to heal on the multidimensional assets of ourselves. I know, like I started off with meditation first, and then kind of like dabbled with crystals and meditation, and then it was like kind of the Reiki after that, and decided to just be, as soon as I had Reiki, because of what I was going through with mental health and things like that, as soon as I combined the Reiki and the meditation together, that was just like a total game changer for me. And I just knew that I had to learn it and I had to be able to teach it because I felt it was my journey. It was my thing that I had to do. But like you, Reiki master teacher now, and I'm like, right, well, what can I do next? So I've just been signed off for I've just done like an Indian head massage course because I wanted to. I'm quite interested in doing something more physical as well, because people can kind of grasp that and get that. So even though it's still energy work, but it's more on a physical level. Um, I've just done a meditation practitioner teacher course as well. So I've added that as well. And I'm quite interested maybe in hypnosis or doing some level of hypnosis of stuff that I've done before in the past, which I've got videos of on my channel. And yeah, probably Akashic or something like that as well, because
Yeah.
it really, it's like, where does it end? Like
Yeah.
it's just so much, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think that's the great thing about life is it's not just, oh, I learned this and then that's my life
Yeah,
done. There's so much out there.
so
Like
much
you,
out there.
yeah, when I listen to you speak, you sort of remind me of myself, like the way your passion for what you've learned and you're going to learn more and you want to learn more. It's almost
Yeah,
like, yeah, we both sort of in the
yeah. Just
same
get that
mind.
feeling of that mindset that we just want to bring more, because when you become aware of one reality or one modality of healing, of how much it can help, how much more can you do with more on top of that, and bringing more multidimensional forms of healing within that person's reality.
Yeah, definitely. And there's always ways you can help people. I mean, if you do Reiki and someone's waking up and they don't, they're not really into Reiki, but maybe they're into something else that you know. So you can say,
Mm,
oh, okay, I can be of service to you doing that then instead.
yeah, yeah,
It's not just Reiki, it's not just this, it's all that. If you've got 4 or 5 things under your belt, you imagine the amount of people you can help around the world.
yeah, exactly, absolutely. And even then, I think, like, I know a lot of people out there that do lots of other modalities of healing. So if I don't do anything, and then I can say, oh, well, go and see such and such, because they're really good at what they do, they'll be able to assist you on another level, because we just create this kind of branch of people that we know that we can connect with, and just say, well, I can't do anything with what I want if that's something that you're not interested in, but such and such does this, and I think you would really benefit from that. And it's about helping others as well at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you know someone that's an expert or, really, really good at the job, then send them their way because they're going to help them. And you're doing your job as well, just by actually not just helping the person to what if it's earn money or help that person, but, you're helping the person you're advising as well. It's sort of
Mm,
like a round, circle. You're all helping each
yeah,
other in a way.
yeah, definitely. So what does your day-to-day running look like for you, as just like a guy? You're working, you do your job, you've got all this other stuff going on on the spiritual side of things. What's your day-to-day look like? Is it
It's very, I'd say it's pretty standard, but standard to a person who's awakened, if you
mm,
know what I mean.
yeah,
The meditating in the morning,
mm,
the training in the mornings. I've been trying to get into yoga in the gym and stuff like that.
mm,
But yeah, I'm also a father, so I have a son that I have responsibilities with.
mm,
But yeah, I think I spend most of my days learning, to be honest,
yeah,
delving into other people's work, delving into my own, sitting in silence and understanding myself, understanding
mm,
who I am and what I like to do. Because a lot of my mission is actually to find me again, to find what I like to do.
mm,
Because for 28 years of my life, I followed other people's journeys, and now for me waking up, I realized that I wasn't me anymore. And that's what brought the unsatisfaction. So a lot of my day is understanding and actually writing down, what do I like to do? What do I want to do? What's my interest? What's my hobbies? Even if
mm.
it's not spiritual, like what do I like to do? And it can be as random as I've started to get a real love for theme parks, going on rides.
All right. Okay.
And it's not really meant anything to me before, but I'm thrill seeking, I think.
Yeah, yeah, like
Yeah,
pushing the boundaries a little bit, or
yeah,
pushing your physical limit of what you wouldn't have
yeah.
done before.
And I've got to the point now where I'm like, do you know what? If nobody wants to come with me, I'll go on my own.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care. I know that I've got like friends in the spiritual world with me anyway all the time. It might sound a bit crazy, but I'm like, why not? I'm me.
Yeah.
This is a journey because people forget that this is a journey for us as well, for
Mm.
just us sometimes, and
Yeah.
to understand ourselves and to love ourselves more. And I think that's part of the whole journey as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And being able to find that space and bringing in those aspects of ourselves that we need to be aware of, be able to give love to ourselves and an appreciation for everything that we've been through and everything that we've still got to go through as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know about yourself, but I'm someone who craves. If I'm with someone for 2 days, I need that alone time. I
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's very
Same.
common for starseeds, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you're an empath and you're picking up other people's energies,
Yeah.
I just need a day or a night time to myself.
Yeah, yeah, it's just about finding that space where you can just be you again, isn't it? And just sit
Yeah,
down and do a meditation, just be quiet, just do something that you need to do just to make yourself feel like you again. Because I do feel on some level that when we go out into the physical world and do our day-to-day run-of-the-mill stuff, that you almost feel like you're having to just step back into that modality of living again, and it can be quite draining to be that when you've realized who you actually really are, to step back over, and it's almost like playing being the actor, I suppose, isn't it,
yeah,
of or playing and being an actor of who you were previously rather than who you are now.
yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't spend enough. If I spend too much time with someone, I can feel myself getting drained, and I'm
Mm,
just really craving that alone time. And I'm like, can I just have an hour?
yeah, yeah,
Go
definitely.
back to, you know, remembering, because I'm quite a calm person in general.
Mm,
But if I spend too much time in 3D world,
mm,
I get very drained and I'm like not the person that I am anymore. I'm getting worked up and I'm not as calm as I usually
yeah.
am. So
Can make you
yeah,
feel like ratty, can't it? It can make you just feel a
yeah,
bit grumpy.
yeah. I mean, an example for that would be my son. I have a great playful energy with a great playful connection with him. And if there's a time when I'm losing my rag or I have a go at a shout at him, discipline him, and I'm like, oh, went a bit over the top there. And it's like, right, that's my cue there to sort of
Mm,
step back. I need a bit of space, a bit of time.
yeah. And it's good to have that self-awareness, isn't it? That you're actually aware of that, whereas some people probably wouldn't be aware of that. So the fact that you can look at yourself without like the ego or whatever, and you can look at yourself and say, right, no, you know what? I just need to step back a little bit.
Yeah, it's all about observing yourself and not judging yourself.
Yeah.
People make mistakes every single day, but as long as you are taking note of that and you're
Mm,
thinking, oh, okay, I know why that's been caused. It's
mm,
okay. I'm human. People make mistakes. It's okay. Don't put yourself down. Tomorrow's a new day, and we correct the mistake that we made today, and that's what I think about. I always say this is a quote I've made up by myself, but I always say to myself at night times, if it's been sort of a hard day or whatever, I always remind myself that you're either winning or you're learning, and if you're learning, you're winning. So
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
keep that
Yeah. I like
mindset.
that. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. I like that.
That's how I always say that to myself. It just helps.
Interesting. So, have you got any sort of parting messages that you'd like to give to people, or anything that you'd like to make people aware of? Anyone that may be going through the same situations that you were? Anything you want to
I
reach out
should
to
have said that.
people with?
I should have saved that last line then. Chums
I
for this
know,
part.
yeah.
um, all I can say is thank you to you. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're
It's
welcome.
been a very, very great connection. I can see this is the first time we spoke, by the way, and
Yeah.
we've not split up.
No, it's just
We've
been
not stopped.
random messages, hasn't it, via
Yeah,
Instagram?
yeah. So we definitely got a connection there, and
Mm,
looking forward to carrying on, connecting with you and
yeah,
seeing how
yeah.
you're doing. And this isn't the last of the conversation, in my opinion, between us two.
Yeah,
I can
definitely.
see a genuine, like probably a friendship coming up. So that's
Yeah.
nice. And just a parting message for everyone is, I guess just keep going, keep your head down, and give everything a try. Don't limit yourself. Don't say I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that without trying it. Give it a go.
Yeah,
And that's all. That's my parting message, really.
yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, Chris. It's been lovely to chat with you, and it's great that we managed to make it and make the connection and break the ice and do the video. And like you say, hopefully many more in the future, so we can share each other's journeys of what's going on with us individually. You'll have to keep me posted about your Akashic course as well. Let me know how it's going
Yes.
on. Also, if you send me your social links or anywhere that people can find you, or if they want to follow you or anything like that, just drop me a message and I will put them below in the descriptions box. But
Yeah, I've only
until
just created my Instagram a few months ago, so it's not got many followers yet. So that'll be very nice.
oh, that'll be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Get a few
Okay,
more on
brilliant.
there. So go into the descriptions box below and look for Chris's Instagram. Follow him over there. Have a look at what he's doing. And yeah, so I'll speak to you soon, and I'll see everybody. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.